Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're taking a really fascinating journey. We're heading into the mystical and, quite enigmatic world of Philippine folklore. We've got a great stack of sources here, articles, research, cultural interpretations, and we're going to try and unearth the most compelling insights from these old tales.
Yeah.
From shape-shifting creatures maybe lurking in the shadows to, well, majestic mountain guardians. Each story we look at is just a vital piece of this incredibly rich tapestry of Philippine cultural heritage.
Absolutely.
So our mission today is to understand not just the stories, the creatures themselves, but really their profound cultural significance.
And it's pretty remarkable how these stories hang around, isn't it? What we want to explore is why. Why do these myths keep resonating?
Yeah.
And what can they tell us about Filipino values, their fears, that deep connection they have to the natural world?
Right.
Because these aren't just, campfire horror stories. They're really cultural narratives. They reflect these deep-seated social anxieties, a profound respect for nature, even, you could argue, aspects of national identity.
That's a great way to put it.
And by sort of digging into these myths, you, the listener, can gain a kind of shortcut, a unique way to appreciate the heartbeat of Philippine culture.
Okay, let's do it. Let's dive straight into those shadows then. We'll explore the creatures that really embody deception, primal fears. And I think we have to start with the Aswang.
Definitely, the classic.
Yeah, arguably one of the most feared mythical creatures in the Philippines. It just embodies, well, fear and horror in the country's cultural stories. So the Aswang is a shapeshifter, often shown as like part human, part bird, maybe part dog. It roams at night, preying on unsuspecting people, particularly targeting the sick, pregnant women, young children.
Vulnerable targets.
Exactly. But what's really unsettling, I think, is that in its human form, the Aswang just blends right into the community seamlessly.
Yeah, that's the terrifying part.
It really is. This ability to look like an ordinary neighbor, it adds this whole layer of psychological terror. It's not just some monster out in the woods. It's that awful thought that evil could be living right next door.
It really reinforces that need for community vigilance, maybe suspicion, especially when things are tough, like during scarce times or when there's an unknown illness going around.
Yeah, it becomes this powerful metaphor, doesn't it, for hidden dangers, the dual nature of things. It really reflects those deep social anxieties.
And if the Aswang's sort of sneaky nature wasn't enough, then you get the Manananggal. Now, this is a truly chilling one.
Oh, yeah. Visually, very striking.
Definitely. It's known for this grotesque ability to sever its upper torso right at the waist. And then it sprouts these huge bat-like wings and flies off looking for prey.
Leaving the bottom half behind. Creepy.
Exactly. The lower half just stays there on the ground, which makes it vulnerable, sure, but that flying upper torso is just relentless.
Yeah.
And it mainly goes after pregnant women.
Why pregnant women specifically?
Well, the lore says it uses this long, thread-like tongue to feed on the hearts of fetuses or sometimes the blood of people sleeping. It's really gruesome. And this legend, it embodies these profound fears, of the unknown, the grotesque. It's often suggested that maybe this myth has roots in how communities dealt with, like unexplained deaths, infant mortality, miscarriages, projecting those anxieties onto this specific horrifying form.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the focus on pregnant women, for instance, that speaks to very real historical fears around childbirth mortality. So it serves as this visceral cautionary tale about dangers lurking in the shadows, emphasizing that need for constant vigilance, protection.
Okay, so from the, let's say, overtly grotesque, we kind of shift gears slightly to something equally sinister, but it starts off looking innocent, the Tiyanak.
Ah, yes, the deceptive one.
Very deceptive. This creature mixes pure innocence with real malevolence in a pretty disturbing way. The Tiyanak takes the form of a newborn baby, crying, sounding helpless, to deceive and lure people in.
Draws on that protective instinct.
Exactly. So someone hears the cries, they're filled with compassion, they go towards it, and then the Tiyanak reveals its true demonic nature, often with vampiric tendencies, apparently.
Yeah.
Turns from this helpless baby into a monster.
It's a nasty trick.
It really is. And this myth, it taps into one of the deepest human fears, I think. The corruption of innocence, that betrayal of trust, turning something pure and vulnerable into a danger source.
Yeah.
That makes the Tiyanak particularly terrifying.
Mm.
It's not just about a monster, it's about shattering our basic instincts to protect the innocent. So the myth often works as a cautionary tale, right? Warning people not to trust appearances blindly, especially if you're venturing into unfamiliar or isolated places.
Definitely a warning about appearances. So moving away from these purely terrifying figures, let's shift our focus a bit. Let's look at the guardians and the gatekeepers, exploring nature's mystical connection in Filipino folklore. How about the Tikbalang?
Okay, the horseman.
Exactly. This legendary creature, known for its quite daunting appearance and mysterious nature, it's got the head and hooves of a horse, but it stands upright with the body of a human.
A very striking image.
It is. And it's said to live in the deep parts of forests, mountains, often causes travelers to lose their way, disorients them with illusions, or maybe just moves the path markers around. Playful, but also dangerous.
So a trickster figure, in a way.
Sort of, yeah. But the Tikbalang isn't just about fear. It also commands this certain fascination. It represents the wild, the untamed parts of nature. That horse-human hybrid form suggests something in between, right? A bridge between the familiar world and the wild. And in some stories, it's actually seen as a guardian of the forest. It challenges humans to respect the natural world, respect its boundaries. So its stories are really steeped in themes of reverence for nature, the supernatural. It highlights that intrinsic connection Filipinos often feel with their environment, and the consequences if you treat nature carelessly.
Interesting. Now, in stark contrast to some of those more frightening figures we've talked about, we have the Kapre.
The gentle giant, relatively speaking.
Right. A unique and intriguing figure, known for its giant size, but generally a benevolent disposition. It lives in big old trees, acacias, bamboo.
You often hear about the smoking.
Yes, that's its signature trait. Often depicted as this colossal, hairy giant with a deep fondness for smoking a huge pipe. The glowing embers are sometimes the only sign it's there, but unlike many mythical beings that bring fear, the Kapre is generally friendly, might interact with humans without malice, sometimes even offers protection or, companionship. It might play harmless pranks, maybe hide your keys or something, but rarely causes real harm.
So what's the symbolism there?
Well, it seems to symbolize a close connection with nature, specifically those oldest, grandest trees. And it serves as this powerful reminder of the respect we owe to the spirits living in the natural world. The Kapre tales blend mystery with a sense of gentle stewardship for the environment. They suggest you can find unexpected friendships in unlikely places if you're open to it.
That's quite different. And then there's another fascinating aspect of nature's sort of hidden dwellers, the Nuno Sapunso,
Which translates to?
ancestor in the anthill, in Tagalog.
Yeah.
Now, these aren't necessarily your direct family ancestors, but more like ancient, often mischievous spirits believed to live in anthills and termite mounds.
Little guys.
Yeah, small, goblin-like creatures.
Yeah.
But the name itself evokes this sense of deep, primordial connection to the land and its history. So disrespecting their homes becomes this profound offense against the environment itself.
Because they're like ancient spirits of the place.
Exactly. And this small creature is known for having magical powers. It can inflict curses or illnesses on people who disrespect its home, or even just step on its mound without saying a polite, "excuse me," or asking permission. Tabi-tabi po is the phrase you often hear.
Right, I've heard that.
So the Nuno Sapunso perfectly embodies a delicate balance between humans and the natural world, and the very real consequences of messing with that harmony. It's a tony figure with a huge message. Coexist respectfully. Acknowledge the unseen life around you.
That's powerful for such a small creature. And when we talk about benevolent nature spirits, we absolutely have to mention the Diwatas, especially Maria Makiling.
The guardians, yes.
Diwatas in Philippine folklore are these ethereal beings, kind of like fairies or maybe minor goddesses, revered as guardians of nature. They're often depicted as beautiful women, radiating this otherworldly grace. They live in forests, mountains, rivers, lakes.
And they interact with humans.
They do. These benevolent spirits are believed to bring blessings like good harvests, calm weather, or sometimes curses, depending on how people treat their environment. They really play a big role in representing that harmonious relationship between nature and mankind. Symbols of fertility, protection, the spiritual essence of nature itself.
They sound central to that respect for the environment you mentioned.
Deeply central. They embody that deep-rooted respect prevalent in Filipino culture. And the most famous, of course, is Maria Makiling. She's the guardian Diwata, the fairy of Mount Makiling in Laguna.
A specific location.
Yes, she's often described as this beautiful woman, gentle, caring nature. She symbolizes the protective spirit of the mountain itself. Maria McKilling is said to watch over the forests, the animals, help local farmers and villagers, but she also fiercely punishes anyone who abuses her domain.
So benevolent, but also protective.
Exactly. Her legend is full of themes of love, nature's bounty, and the importance of respecting that ecological balance. She really embodies the profound belief that nature isn't just a resource, it's a living entity with its own guardians who demand reverence.
Okay, so we've covered creatures of shadow, guardians of nature. Now, moving beyond the earthly plane, our deep dive wouldn't be complete without looking at some cosmic explanations and figures tied to national identity. Let's talk about the Bakunawa.
A moon eater.
The moon eater, exactly. A mythical sea serpent in Philippine folklore. Revered and feared for its immense power, its majesty. It's this colossal, dragon-like creature.
And it causes eclipses.
That's the belief. Legends say it emerges from the depths of the sea to swallow the moon, causing lunar eclipses. Sometimes the sun, too, in some versions.
Wow. So it's an explanation for a natural phenomenon.
Precisely. The Bakunawa tale is this fascinating blend of mythology and, well, astronomy, reflecting that human need to explain grand, awe-inspiring celestial events. It symbolizes the powerful, often unpredictable forces of nature and the mysteries of the cosmos.
Is it seen as purely evil?
Not necessarily. In many stories, it embodies a duality. It's a destroyer of light, yes, but also sometimes seen as a guardian of the ocean's depths. The legend of the Bakunawa just beautifully illustrates the richness of the Filipino imagination in making sense of the universe, putting this compelling narrative onto the night sky, a narrative that blends fear, respect, and wonder.
It's amazing how these stories weave everything together. And finally, let's talk about Bernardo Carpio.
Ah, the giant in the mountains.
Yes, a legendary figure, often depicted as this strong, enigmatic giant. According to the myth, he's eternally trapped between two huge rocks in the mountains of Montalban.
And his struggling causes earthquakes.
That's the story. It's believed his immense struggles to break free are the very cause of earthquakes. His story is this compelling mix of myth and historical allegory. It symbolizes the struggle for freedom, the resilience of the human spirit.
How does the historical part come in?
Well, Bernardo Carpio's legend resonates really deeply as a powerful symbol of the fight against colonial oppression, especially during the Spanish era. As the Philippines longed for independence, his image became this sort of beacon of hope for people seeking liberty.
So he represents the nation trying to break free.
Exactly. His story reflects the enduring nature of Filipino courage and the incredible power of myth in shaping national identity and inspiring generation after generation. He's not just a giant trapped in stone. He's a metaphor for a nation's unbreakable spirit, always striving for liberation.
It's incredible how these figures carry so much weight. So as our deep dive through these mythical realms of the Philippines starts to wrap up, we hope these stories have, well, not just entertained you, but maybe illuminated some of the rich, diverse tapestry of Philippine folklore. These legends, passed down through generations, they really are more than just tales, aren't they? They feel like the heartbeat of the culture, shaping values, traditions, the very way of life. And the power of storytelling, the enduring legacy of this, ancient wisdom, it continues to resonate even today in our modern world. It gives us this unique lens to understand cultural identity.
It really does. It truly makes you consider those fundamental narratives that define a people, define any culture, really.
Yeah.
So we'd encourage you, our listener, maybe take a moment to think about how your own culture's myths, or maybe local legends from where you grew up, might reflect similar anxieties or values, or maybe attempts to explain the inexplicable.
Find your own Aswang or Kapre.
Exactly. Yeah. Perhaps you have your own shapeshifter or a benevolent nature spirit just waiting to be rediscovered in your local lore. May the spirit of these vibrant Filipino tales stay with you, just as mysterious and captivating as the land from which they sprung.